Let's see, we getting on everything here? Uh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Well, I got a nice little surprise today. There's a local magazine here in Washington, D.C. called the Washingtonian. It's been here maybe 20 years or so. You know, back in the 80s or 90s, every big city had a magazine about their city. So all the yuppies who live in the city knew what to do and knew where to spend money and stuff like that. So I remember it well, and I think the interview. Actually, I was on the cover in 1977. I was on the cover of this magazine with 77 people to watch in 1977. How do you like that? 77 people to watch in 1977, and I was just a little kid back then, practically. Trying to hustle and make something of my life. And I started a little business helping Fortune 500 companies get government money. And it was fun to be that known. I mean, for a kid in a small town in Pennsylvania to be on the cover of that magazine, I mean, it's one of 77 people. It wasn't like Time Magazine of the Year or something like that, just a little thing. But they just did a little update in their new magazine, and it's on the back page, and I'll put a copy of it, a link on the cover. And it's interesting because the guy who interviewed me, I mean, some interviewers are good and they could bring out stuff that you didn't even know you knew. And that was funny. And I think people now that don't know of me that well, I mean, they're too young to know what the hell I was doing in the 70s or 80s. And that's when I started taking off in the 80s and 90s and stuff, at least for consumer. When I got out of the business to business stuff, then I started helping consumers. And that really changed. And because that was where my heart was. Helping millionaires become billionaires was really not for me. And it took a while to find out how to make a living doing that, because I was able to charge thousands of dollars, but people don't have that money who really need this money. And so I did it in books. And so books was a way to do it. And I flunked English in college, so me writing a book was sort of like being on Mars. But some agent saw me and got me a contract and did a book. And I said, boy, what I like is educating people about this. So I created my own book tour and learned how to do that. I hired a kid who was still in college, and we learned it together, how to sell books in America. And it was really getting on talk shows because they will give you free information, free advertising. I didn't have money to advertise or whatever. And so, and when I became a guest, like a professional guest. People loved having me on their shows because they didn't have to think. They just press a button, let's go, and I'll take over. Yeah, how much money, how much time do I have? A minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. I'll fill it and telling people about neat stuff in the government. And so people would use me when somebody canceled, and they know I would go there in a minute. I remember Letterman finding me in Chicago. I was doing interviews in Chicago, and somebody canceled last minute. They found me in Chicago, and they put me on an airplane to come back and do Letterman. And I was always surprised. Hey, who am I subbing for? What big, what big person stiffed them at the last minute, and they had to get Lesko. And that was fun. And I used to do that all the time with Larry King, because he was in town, and he could give me. I even go down to Larry King and sit in the green room. In case a guest left early, they'd shove me in to fill the time. And if they didn't use me, fine, because I'd use someone else. It was all free. I didn't have to pay for any advertising. This is a wonderful way to sell books. And actually, the Letterman thing, you know what? When Natalie Wood drowned, on that boat or whatever. And Christopher Walken was the guest, but he was also on that boat that drowned Natalie Wood. And so he canceled at the last minute. So that was, I love his work. Watching Christopher Walken work is great. And so I was subbing for Christopher Walken. So that's Put that on my gravestone. But this had some interesting quotes here that I told him. I don't even remember, to tell you the truth. My parents didn't admit I was their kid for the first 10 years I did this because I acted like a maniac until I went to their retirement village and someone said, "Hey, is that your kid I saw on Larry King? He looks smart." So I had to get that reassurance from their friends before, because they wanted me to act, very pompous or whatever, respectful. And man, I would never get any TV. I would never be able to advertise. I'd never get my ideas across if I acted like that. And so I quickly learned that media is for entertainment. And then you sneak in. It's sort of like I was a college professor too, and I couldn't if I couldn't keep people awake, I couldn't teach them anything. So that's my idea about media. If you can't keep people awake, man, you just can't get your message across. You can't teach them anything. Like Trump, he just does outrageous shit, right? And the cameras follow him. He spends no money on advertising. He doesn't have to. And here it has my first question mark suit. The first suit I made, it actually in Montgomery Mall, that's a shopping mall in the suburb. A lady used to embroider hats and shirts. I got a cheap suit and had her embroider it. I used to travel a lot and every step was like walking on eggs. I was so self-conscious. As a guy growing up in my generation, everyone had to be macho. But the more I did it, the more I saw people loved it. The only time I used to piss me off was in Adams Morgan, where I live. It's sort of like a real avant-garde area or artsy kind of place. On Saturday night, especially young men, when they're drunk and trying to say something nice, they don't know how to do it. It's a gauntlet. Now I miss the suit if I don't have it on. I do. If I don't wear loud clothes, because I walk down the street every day, I go for about 6 miles, 7 mile walk, and people smile at me, and that almost becomes like a job. And that was, it's so nice. I mean, I feel that's a responsibility I have. If I can make someone smile just for a second or two in their day, I mean, I think we have nothing better to do in life than to try to help other people. And that's what Let's Go Help is all about now. It's about helping other people with their financial problems. And the members and also that help other members, that is the most rewarding thing I have right now in my life, is seeing other people who join us and they are able to solve problems and they're so excited about it, they want to show other people how they did it. And I think that's better than having a crazy man in a question mark suit or whatever the hell I'm wearing now to tell you, when you can have somebody tell you who just learned a few weeks, months ago, and they're using it very well. And that does my heart good. I know maybe this can go on without me, and that's wonderful. And the people that work with me, the staff, they're all loving people. They treat members so nicely. They treat me so nicely, and they treat other members so nicely, and other people we work together. We just have a handful of people doing all this, and this is why we give money back to people. If you're a member of Let's Go Help, you're eligible for our grants. We had a cutback on them last month or two, and we're going back up the original amount, which was $70,000 a year. A month, a year, a month, every month we give out that. I can't believe it, and that does my heart good, knowing that I could give $500 or $1,000 to somebody, that we could do that and change their life and get out of a jam or help them do something they really want to do in life. None of us, I feel, on this planet have anything better to do. I'm sorry to say that. I sure would not have said that 20, 30, 40 years ago. But first, it isn't for everybody, because first you have to take care of yourself first. If you don't take care of yourself first, then you can't help other people. And that's the name of the game, I think, in the long run, is how you could get secure enough so you could start helping other people. And then if everybody works like that, instead of trying to get, where's security? Well, I won't be secure unless I get $1 billion and can go to the fucking moon. And that's what capitalism breeds, I feel. But it's just one man's opinion. I'm certainly wrong about a lot of things. So I may be wrong about my thoughts, but I try to listen to my heart. And my heart tells me. I always feel my heart is smarter than my brain. And that's it. I mean, and people, the members show me anyway that we still know something that people need, because people are all in financial trouble. Half of this country cannot afford a new bill for $500 that comes in the mail. They don't have that money to do it. And I want to show you where the options are. I cannot promise you get the money. Nobody can. Anybody on the internet says, just give me $500, I'll make sure you get $10,000. That's all bullshit. Anybody who promises you they could get a grant is just lying and scamming and trying to get money from you. The only people that really give grant money are government offices and nonprofit organizations. And that means .gov and .org. .gov and .org. Anybody else is just trying to scam you for one reason or another. Some big companies do it. I mean, we're a company and we do it. We're a .com. We do it, and it's mostly kind-heartedness, because it's like half our business that we give away, half the sales. So we could do a lot more, fun personal things, but that is for our hearts. And I think that is the one, at least at my age, and if I was younger, I'd probably think differently, I don't know. But at my age, I know that's the one muscle I could keep growing. I try to exercise to stay in shape every day. I get slower, my brain gets slower, I forget more shit every day. I can't lift as much weight as I used to or whatever. I was never into weights anyway. But one thing I can grow more is my heart. And that's loving people, loving members, loving the people I work with, my family, whatever. And if I could grow that, that keeps me excited every day. So you, members or potential members, whatever, it doesn't matter if you join me or not, you don't give me money before you take care of yourself. And that makes my life feel so important, so worth getting up every day to see how many people I could help today, how many people I could give you something. Like here, if you owe government money if you have a student loan from not a government student loan that's been forgiven, they're forgiving non-government student loans. Okay, wow. And over 1 million people now will get their government loans forgiven because originally on those forgiveness programs you had to have a government student loan, but now you don't. One of the biggest non-government student loans, Navient, Navient. Now they're forgiving student loans, and there's more than 1 million borrowers were defaulted by nonprofit schools, and had billions of dollars in federal student loans eliminated through the government aid program. See, that's a new law. New laws happen all the time, and that's important. There's another new law for taxes. Now you could get your taxes done free by the IRS. There were about 12 states that did it this tax season. Now there's going to be 50 states are going to do that. And you know who fights them? Are the professional tax preparers. They say, no, the government shouldn't be doing this. We should be doing this. In fact, no, the government creates the taxes. They should have an obligation to let people not have to pay to give them money. Okay, and I love this. This is the group, the organization. What they do, this is what lobbyists is all about. You get a bunch of people who are pissed off like you that they have to, they're getting screwed out of something, and they start an organization to fight the government to change their mind. Okay, this is for the software companies that charge you money to pay the taxes. Okay, and they're called the American Coalition for Taxpayers' Rights. I have a right to spend money to do my taxes. They make it sound like you're helping America instead of just helping themselves, maybe. And actually, the government is able to do this now for $17. That's all it costs the government to file your taxes for you. And these companies charge at least $200. So you're paying $200-300, and the government wants to do it for $17, and they're saying that's un-American. Now, who's un-American here? So that's it. And here's a senator talking about it, Don Wyden, who's from Oregon. He says, it's a tremendous news for taxpayers all over the country who are tired of getting ripped off by big tax prep companies that routinely upcharge. See, they also say, yeah, it's only going to be $70, $100, or what. But when you get in there, man, you're coming out spending $400. Routinely upcharge, that's an upcharge or an upsell for unnecessary services, offering oversell the quality of their services. They say, oh, you'll never get all that kind of stuff. They oversell that. And offer crummy customer service. So it's lousy things. People don't know their options. You don't know their options to do that. I do my own taxes. I always did, no matter how complicated. But tax preparation sound, because they said that then they started giving you money. You know, they're lending you money. Okay, you're going to get $500. I'll give you that $500 now, and it'll only cost you 30% or whatever the hell they were charging. You know, and that's it. They got a customer, and they're going to bleed you dry. You know, and that's why, to me, if you get the government to do it or go to a nonprofit organization to do it, if you go to findhelp.org, and you put in your zip code, then put in taxes, and you'll find nonprofit organizations that help you with taxes, okay? And that's available for free. The other thing you could do, I've been doing seminars for nonprofit organizations, giving back the gifts they have given me. Oh, how nice of you. How can I get a grant to do this? Well, I would do it for, again, this SBDC. Talk about government contracts. Now that you have an organization doing that, you get government contracts. And the other thing too is, as Andrea, is the go to the Career One-Stop Center. If it's something people can use to help get a job, then they hire people to train people to do that. So that may be good too. But see, they'll also, the small business development centers will help you find out contracts from the government to do that. And that's all the, they do the marketing for you, and any paperwork, they have it. There's PTAC, P-A-T-A-C, I think is .us or -us, .org, I think, is the other group that does one stop. Oh, hiya, Amber, how you doing? And that's it. But taxes, boy, I mean, they're rackets, yeah, because they help you, and you feel you don't know anything when you do. And it doesn't matter if you make a mistake in taxes. You don't go to jail, you know. And just fill it out. And just be wrong. That's okay. It doesn't matter. The worst case, you're going to owe $10 fine or $50 the most, and your chances then of 1 in a zillion. So forget about that. You know, and also the student debt programs. Remember, you go to studentaid.gov, to get help with the student debt if you have student debt. There's so many programs now, you don't have to pay that back. So make sure you check them all out, call them if you have, even if you have to sit on hold for an hour. Doesn't matter. You're gonna maybe save $100,000 or $10,000. What the hell? An hour of your time is peanuts compared to what your loan is. So you do that, or the amount of that. Let's see. Let's see. My parents said, in the 70s, I had a software company that failed. I'm reading again from the article. In the 70s, I had a software company that failed. I had another business that failed. I told myself, I'm doing everything the way I was taught in MBA school, but I'm failing. I'm not having fun. So the next time I do something, I'm going to have fun doing it. And I say, if I fail, fuck it. It doesn't matter. Having fun now is instead of eating shit for 10 years is to maybe have fun in 10 years. You find out about failing, and there's no perfect thing out there. You have to do it yourself. Yeah, and that's what failure did for me, and I appreciate failure more than anything else that happened to me. Not the MBA, not my time in the military, or just failing, because then I feel that the world doesn't end when you fail, and usually you fail because you're doing something that's not for you, and that slaps you in the face and says, "Get the hell out of here, let's go." And that's why this problem with, and you're also, what I learned is that your loved ones are your worst enemy. They don't want to see you fail when you really have to fail to get on the track of where you should be. You know, that means failing is just you're in the wrong place. And so you're not going to find that unless you fail. So you have to embrace failure as the world telling you something. You're in the wrong place. And that's so important for all of us in life. And that's why another thing, besides being in the right place, I was doing all these things I really wasn't, really comfortable with and loved and enjoyed doing like I do now. And so really the carrot was, in 10 years, I'll be rich, or something like that. In 10 years or 20 years, I'll retire. Wow, what are you doing with life for 10, 20 years or whatever? And that's why I feel, well, God, even if I fail, at least I'm having fun and trying something that I really believe in, and talking with my heart, not so much my head. Everybody wants to use their head. That's important so you don't fall off a cliff. But you can't use that to determine what you could, or like a mate for life, or a work for life. We all want to use our head, and we talk to smart people. Maybe it worked for them, but it's not going to work for you. And that's why now I see, boy, that is nature telling you you're in the wrong place. You have to take care of yourself. Yes. You have to not be a burden on other people. Yes. You have to do that first. That's why you take some shitty job on the side to pay the bills or whatever. As you go forward, little steps by little steps, on what you should really be doing in life. It's like you're a plant. We're all plants. We're a certain kind of plant. We're all different plants. So if we're planted in the wrong pot, we're not going to grow. You have to figure out yourself, and nobody else is going to tell you what pot you should be planted in. You have to figure it out through trial and error. And that's the important thing. So that's the universe slapping you around and say, "Get the fuck out of here. You don't belong here. You hate it." And that's a wasted life. You don't want to waste your life, please. No, life's too short, and there's too many people to love and to do and to create and help people. And you're only going to help people, that you want to be there to help them. I mean, look at all those people that are on, you call on customer service. They don't want to be there, just following some things. They're saying things on a computer, and there's no heart in anything they do. That's why when they call me up, I try to make them laugh first. And to quit reading scripts, because when they're reading scripts, man, I'm bored as hell too, and I just want to get off that goddamn phone as fast as possible. But if I start making them laugh and making them human, then that becomes a nice experience, and a lot of humor is just telling them you're an idiot. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I need help. And the same way of getting money. I mean, don't try to pretend you know what you do. The people out there that are going to help you are there to help you, and they get paid to help you. And so you make yourself as human as possible when you call asking for help, financial help or any kind of help. And don't ask for money because you sound greedy. Hey, give me a grant. No, you don't want to do that. Say, hey, I'm screwed. I don't know what to do, and I can't pay my bills or do anything. Can you help me? That's it. You be human as possible. It's fun to help a human. It's not fun to help a robot. You're just doing it to get paid. But if you're a human, and you could be human to people that are in business that get paid to help people, they'd rather help a human than they would some, robot. And that's the problem with AI. It's just becoming, now more people can act like computers, or more computers could pretend they're human. And that's what most customer service, because they're just reading off, you say this, then I say that. You say this, then I say that. And there's no human. I'm so frustrated, I'm broke, people. Okay, you should not be frustrated or broke. Why? Because here's two places you should go right now. Don't do anything else in life. If that is serious, you say you're so frustrated because you're broke. Don't do anything else in life until you make these two appointments. You go to HUD.gov/counseling. HUD.gov/counseling. And there you'll see in your state, there'll be 20, 30, 40, 50 organizations that help you being broke, okay? And get rid of your debt problems, credit card, whatever. You're under that weight of, oh shit, I owe all this money. You want to get rid of that burden. That's a monkey on your back that's going to stop you from doing something. You get rid of that by talking to a free financial counselor. If you want more like that, and maybe you call 2 or 3 and they didn't work out for you, then you go to findhelp.org. Findhelp.org. Okay, and you put financial assistance there, and at least where I live, there's 250 organizations that help people with financial problems, and where I live, all free. They're giving money, giving advice, helping you through, all free, 250. You're sitting there and going to Google, and you'll never find them because Google is just there to get money from you, not give you money. Okay, so that's the one thing. HUD.gov/counseling. The next one is careeronestop.org. Careeronestop.org. You go to that website. You don't have to give me any money for all this. You go to that website and you put in your zip code and you find your local Career One Stop Center, okay? And that's one, O-N-E. And then you make an appointment. Again, you have to make appointments. You have to talk to people. You're not going to get anything if you don't talk to people. They have to relate to you as a human being. We're all lovable inside, but we're all trying to be something different outside, and that's not lovable. Show your insides. This is me inside, and that became lovable. Not to everybody, but to the people. If you like this, I know I'm going to like you. If you don't like this, we have nothing in common. We're saving each other a lot of time. Does grants only apply to Americans? No, you don't have to, not only Americans. No, absolutely not. And most of it's services, too, that they don't even ask what the hell you are. Like the things I'm telling you about. Now, some do, a lot do, but there's still things that don't. Now, I just see now for healthcare now, you don't have to be a citizen. California just passed it all. A lot of states, I know you don't have to be a citizen to get government subsidized healthcare, and stuff like that. So it all depends. Every program is different. You have to check out the program that you want. So find the ones that make sense for you to apply to, and the only way you find that is by talking to people. I found my financial counselor from HUD. See, Andrea does that, and she's a wonderful human and shares her success to encourage other people to do it. And we go back far. And so now, Career One Stop, that's for you to get a better job. And if you can't get a job because you have no skills, they train you for free and get you the skills to get a better job. So that's right, you gotta get on a course to something. Now, if for some reason the Career One Stop that doesn't work, that's okay. You'll find other places that do that. And if you go to findhelp.org, and put in job training, you'll find hundreds of more nonprofit organizations where you live that will do that for you. There's no excuse. The excuse is, or the problem is that you're going to Google, and that you can't get out of there. The people in there are too good at selling. Great guy. I remember when you had an office of your books. Yeah, Rockville. Yeah, you had a nice car with. Yeah, I still do. I still have 2 questions about cars. We're down in Adams Morgan now. That's where we live. We still got these old jalopies because we've never used a car. Walk everywhere. I got 15 restaurants within 2 blocks. Anything I need, I can just get out and walk. And that's what keeps you young, is by contributing, doing stuff in life, helping other people. That's the most way to get young. If you don't know what to do with your life and you're looking for go to findhelp.com. Look for people that are helping people that you would enjoy helping. Maybe homeless people, maybe vets, maybe seniors, maybe kids or whatever. And you'll find hundreds of organizations. Call them up and just say, hey, how can I help you? get in there and just find out what they're doing and volunteer and see what they're doing. So you get off the ass and off the computer and talking to people about their problems. And then you find out a new, like Andrea is finding a way to help nonprofit organizations, okay? And she sees a need there. And so you have to get out there to see needs. You can't dream it up in your head, and you have to see the real need from the real people. Hey, nobody's doing this for these people that need it. I could do that, okay? And then you go to the Small Business Development Center and say, hey, help me start a business that will do this to help kids in the neighborhood, seniors in the neighborhood, whatever. You know, there's a wonderful woman is so lovable, Megan, who's one of our people who volunteer and help other people, a navigator that she's every night. She helps people for free with her credit. Somebody on Sunday nights. I mean, she just helps it for free and is solving problems. I mean, in 1 week, she was telling me the other day, like yesterday, day before, that a member increased their credit like 300 points in a week. After talking to her. I mean, that's the kind of help that's out there. You're sitting there and hoping that the internet will give you something. No, they'll give you empty pockets. That's what the internet is there. You got to get and talk to people. People smell real people. And that's the only way to do it. You got to get up close and personal. Wow, I wondered when I started this what I was going to say. It sort of took care of itself. Coffee or tea or me? Send a request to your live video. Okay, I'm going to go exercise, guys. Remember that we have 4 grants. Members, thank you for applying for the free laptop computers, okay? That was awfully nice. Got a bunch of applications every month. We give out 30 free laptop computers. Our next computer, I've been asked to lead a seminar to teach undocumented people. That's wonderful, Andrea. Yes. Well, yes. Well, see, that's wonderful. But I'm not seeing a lot of options. What resources can I use to find more like it? Well, actually, you want to find organizations that deal with undocumented. If you go to findhelp.org, Andrea, you put in undocumented, and you'll see organizations that help undocumented. Yeah, that's wonderful. And again, even your Career One Stop, they have training programs for people trying to look for work and everything. So that could be another course they could offer to new visitors or new arrivals in the United States to do this. And that's wonderful. They really need it, Andrea. Talk to people who are helping undocumented, and there's dozens and dozens, more of them all the time. Whatever. Sending you lots of love. Oh, you're back in New York City? Wonderful. And thank you for your love, Andrea. You were the first person, one of the first that when I started doing this that was so kind to me. And I appreciate that. And you were going through a terrible time in your life. And I appreciate that with such a hurt heart. You had room in your heart to share kindness with me. And that is a wonderful gift you've given me, and I'll always remember that so much. Shit, I'm gonna cry again. But I love crying because I know something important happened. If I cry or something, I know, oh, this is really important, and that's why Andrea reminding me of her pain and her ability to expand her heart even through that time she was going through, and showing that love to me is just the best gift in life. And that's why if you can start helping people, I'm hooked on crack now. I worked on kindness. 'Cause it's the only thing I've left to grow is my heart. And wow, see what Andrea does, she grew my heart again just by reminiscing that. So thank you. And we could all do that. We're all human. We're made of the same basic stuff. You know, we have different skills within that, but I believe startup. Yeah, there's a lot of help for startups. Go to, oh, you remember, so go to item number 5 in the Let's Go Meta Grant report, okay? And we'll talk about later, and small business potential and the youth development. Oh, big thing, but you can do it. And I'll talk to you again, and I hope you make me cry, okay? Because that really makes my day. So thank you so much.